Thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. Can you tell me who you are and what you do for STEP?
My name's Fred Engler. I work in the housing department, housing options, and I'm a compliance lead person.
Okay. What one word best describes your experience here at STEP?
One word. I would say rewarding.
Okay. Awesome. What is it about your job that you find the most satisfying?
I think it's hard to put it just one thing, but I would say the opportunities that STEP provides me to help people in the community. So I love helping people.
Awesome. Okay. Can you tell me about your favorite customer experience during your time here? What made your experience with them stick out?
Oh, that's going back sometime. Um, I would say probably the first year that I was here, um, going out in the field and working, interacting with clients, I typically always heard the word partnership, partners. So in the back of my mind, I always thought about partnerships and what I basically understood what that meant, but at the same time, I didn't realize fully until I started actually interacting with our clients how important partnerships were. And I remember one particular case where I was out with on a job site with a client doing my normal energy education walkthrough and everything else. I sat down with the client, and as we were discussing things, I was explaining what we could do for the client. And then I got to thinking, I need to take a different approach, to this than I normally did. And I was trying to think, how do I change up what I typically do? So after listening to the client, and her saying about how difficult it was with her bills and everything else, I got to thinking about maybe I should relate back to what basically I've done in my personal life with my children, because she was explaining how difficult it was to get the kids involved and everything else. So I said, well, here's just a suggestion that I found worked for me. And I said I sat down with my kids and I said, look, I said, here's what our electric bill is. It's very high, and I need your help to basically lower these bills. I can't do we can't do this ourselves. We need your help. So I wanted to get my children to buy into this. So I had to start thinking about what is their currency. What am I going to do to motivate them basically to get involved in this? So I come up with this idea that I said, okay, I need your help to save on our energy bill. And here's what we're going to do at the end of each month. We're going to sit down and look at our electric bill, our energy bills, and for every dollar we can save, we're going to put half of that into a jar. Then you guys are going to come up with what do you want to use that money for. So the idea of a currency to motivate my kids, they love reading books, they love movies back when they had the VHS, you know, systems. So they started going around and they were turning off lights, they were doing this, they were hanging clothes up and getting after my wife. And she'd turn a light on in a room, they'd be behind her closing it and everything else, turning the lights off. And it was like kind of comical, but at the same time, as that progressed over the number of months, it was really interesting to see how involved they were getting. And then they started getting, the chance to go out and see in the spark on their eyes, buy, some of these the books, and, buy some, movies and whatnot. So I basically took that experience and I explained it to, the client. I said, so what's your children's currency? Because she was saying how difficult it was to get them to buy into things. And she said, well, they like, playing games and this and that, on board or electronic games and whatnot, and occasionally going out to eat. But she says, but it's very difficult to do that. So I took away from that experience with that client is that I needed to improve myself as far as being a better, I guess, listener, to the client, interacting with the client at a different level. And it gave me a better appreciation of what STEP does as far as partnerships. Because I always thought, partnerships, it's like, okay, you partner with another agency, you partner with, state government. But I wasn't really thinking so much as truly the partnership of our employees, the agency, the departments with our clients. So from that time forward, And that's why it's kind of a little hard to kind of explain this, because that was my first kind of experience with that, but it kept growing over the years, and I kept trying to improve upon how do I be a better listener? How do I, move this forward? Because, I could tell a client, okay, well, we can do this, but if they're not able to, to do part of that, then it's not helping them. So I wanted to maximize how much I could help them, so that from then on, that partnership basically stuck with me in all the things that I've done here.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. And what do you think you would say to someone who's thinking about STEP as a place to work?
Sort of what brought me here was I really have a strong desire to help people, whether it's my coworkers or people in the community. So I think if you're the person that likes to help give back to your community, STEP has, lots of opportunities, whether it's volunteering or, coming on board as an employee. I think it's a very rewarding, as I previously mentioned, experience, for folks, and the more years I work here, the more people I come into contact with in the community, they don't always realize totally what STEP does. You see the transportation vans, this and that, and you kind of focus on that. You don't realize the impact that STEP has. So I would say if you want to make an impact in this community, I said, come to STEP and work at STEP or volunteer here.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.